I picked up on that thread, and it's more than a thread. It's a foundational piece of the biography, that emphasis on classic theism, just orthodox theology,
Right.
and how
Yeah, that's
central and
right.
foundational that is. If we don't have that, we don't have anything. And that was so tremendously helpful for me in my life, and it's so helpful for other people who are encountering Calvinism and Reformed doctrines and having a difficult time. Often it's because we have an elevated view of man and a reduced view of God. We don't understand our sin and God's holiness. And when you start to understand who God is as he is revealed to us, and who we are in relation to him as sinners under his wrath and curse, things start to fall into place. And to see that firm emphasis
Right.
on orthodox, confessional, classical theism, and then also his willingness from experience to fight and to maintain those things, across a whole wide range of institutions, thinking about Ligonier, the church, St. Andrews,
Yes.
Reformation Bible College, radio ministries, you name it. You see a really wonderful portrait of a servant of the Lord.
I mentioned we had these biography sessions where I go to his house. The last one I did with him was October of 2017. After that one, I recorded it. We did a podcast called Open Book, and I did
Yeah.
a season of that with RC. We did a couple of those afterwards. He passed away, of course, in December. But the last session was in October. And we've been going through year by year pretty much. But I felt like I want to do something different that session. And I sat down with him and I said, okay, let's break out of the year by year thing. What are you? Are you a reformed classical theist? And I mean, eyes lit up, sits on the edge of his chair. Absolutely. That's all I've wanted to do. That's all I've been. And he starts with Aristotle.
Yeah.
And pure being.
Mm-hmm.
And then he moves to Augustine. Then he moves to Aquinas. Then he moves to Calvin, who's trained as a scholastic.
Mm-hmm.
And he moves to Turretin. And he moves to Edwards. And he says, this is all I've wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Be a reformed classical theist. And, you see it. He had the philosophical training, he had the theological training,
There's
the
no
exegetical
doubt.
training.
Yeah.
And you see it in Edwards, you see it in Hodge, you see it in Turretin, you see it in Augustine. He was right in that line. And we just need that. And, I think what you said was so instructive. You get that God is holy. You get who God is, that perfect, ens perfectissimus, the most perfect being. Then the dominoes all fall in the right direction. Who we are, who Jesus is, the gospel, and really ECT and the controversy of the mid-90s is just an extension of that train of thought.
Inerrancy as well. This has extended a whole
Absolutely.
chapter on that. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Has everything to do with the nature of God.